I did it, everybody! Caught all 151 Pokemon, did the Mew glitch and everything. I've caught all the Pokemon that possibly exist. What about the other 100? There is no other 100. Certainly not in this continent. There's a whole other region just through this cave and no one knew about it? Ugh. Hey everybody, and welcome back to this exciting series where we look at Pokemon games and decide which game had the best features, what was the best Pokemon game, and which features kind of fell flat. Last time, we looked at the first generation of Pokemon games, Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow. We covered a lot of the basics of what the franchise is and how the game works, so if you missed that, you might want to get caught up. Link in the description, and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any more of these sweet, sweet episodes. Okay, now that's out of the way, let's get talking about the next Pokemon game in the series, Gold and Silver. The first sequel, a brand new game. This is where Game Freak took a look at the success of the last game and tried to improve upon it. So what did they do to make it better than the last game? We had 100 more Pokemon, lots more colours, and some new moves. Stuff that I think would be expected for a sequel. But a lot more was added that took the gameplay to the next level. We had two new Pokemon types, Steel and Dark, meaning the convoluted game of rock, paper, scissors just got a whole lot harder, people. Pokemon can now hold items. Held items range from berries, which can be used in battle for recovery of HP, curing status conditions, and more, all the way over to items like the Black Belt, which can increase the power of fighting type moves. Also, the special stat has been split into special defense and special attack, meaning not only did each Pokemon have a stat for how powerful they would be using special moves, each Pokemon now had a stat to show how well it would defend against special moves, rather than it just coming down to the defense stat. So some Pokemon could have great defense against physical moves, but not against special moves. More to think about when choosing your Pokemon. Weather conditions in battles were added and would affect moves and other conditions in the battle. Rain would boost water type moves and weaken fire type moves. It would also affect the accuracy of thunder, making it 100%. Other weather, like harsh sun, increases fire type moves, and moves like solar beam can be used instantly. Some weather, like sandstorm, could inflict damage unless you are the respective type. All of these changes were big for the series. Weather conditions can really turn the odds in your favour in battle to boost moves and even help with moves that are powerful but have risk, like Thunder's low accuracy or Solar Beam taking 2 turns. You already said that one. I know, but it's the best examples I can think of. We're seeing an increase in strategy for battles. This wasn't just a game where you could use the strongest move and always knock down your opponent. You had to think carefully, or suffer the consequences. We also saw the Pokegear, a cool gadget that does many things. It had a map, radio, phone, but the biggest feature was being able to rebattle trainers. This meant that later in the game, after fighting the trainer, you could fight them again, allowing you to train as the game goes on. Not bad for a glorified watch. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Gold and Silver's cartridge featured a clock, so you could set the time when starting the game and the internal clock would continue to keep the time in-game. This meant that they could add a day and night cycle to the game. It looks pretty, and it's important for getting Umbreon and Espeon. It also meant that when you decided to pick up your Game Boy Color and copy of Pokemon Gold 20 years later, the game couldn't keep your save file because the battery died, so every time you turned off the game you had to start again, or get really good at soldering a new battery to that circuit board. A big part of Pokemon is, of course, catching Pokemon. And not only are there more Pokemon naturally in the wild, like bugs, no, not him, but like birds and other vermin. No, not those old ones. Not only are there more Pokemon naturally in the wild, but they've created new ways to evolve Pokemon. New items to give, or a Pokemon can evolve while holding an item and being traded. A Pokemon can also evolve by increasing its friendship level, a new feature to the series. Friendship is generally increased by taking good care of a Pokemon. Keeping them in your party, leveling them up, or using items will increase your Pokemon's friendship. Letting a Pokemon faint can decrease a Pokemon's friendship. So be nice to your Pokemon, or you will never get a Crobat. We also saw new forms of Pokemon in reverse too, baby Pokemon. Along with this feature was the ability to breed. 2 Pokemon could be placed in a daycare, and if they were in the same egg group, like how Sneasel and Rattata are both in the field group, after some time they'd make an egg. You could then carry the egg in your party, and after walking a certain amount of steps, the egg would hatch. The species of the Pokemon would be determined by whoever the female was, or you can do the classic breed a Pokemon with a Ditto and you'll always get the Pokemon that Ditto isn't. Seriously, I'd catch Ditto and leave him in the daycare and never take him back. Anyway, so the point of this was to introduce baby Pokemon. Some Pokemon needed to make an egg in the daycare center like Pikachu in order to hatch an egg and reveal its new baby form, Pichu. All of these new concepts meant trainers really had to ask around in-game for clues on how to get all the Pokemon, making the challenge of gotta catch them all a little tougher. Another feature that was brought in by breeding was egg moves. Egg moves are moves that a Pokemon is able to inherit through breeding from the male parent. These moves otherwise can't be learned by the Pokemon, and so with a little effort you can give your Pokemon a very powerful moveset. More variety, more strategy, more fun! A final challenge to catching them all was new types of legendaries, roaming legendaries. The 3 legendary dogs, Entei, Raikou and Suicune, would appear randomly in the wild and flee at the first chance it gets. Hard. This was a challenge to say the least, and as a child I don't think I ever had the patience for it. You had to try and weaken it, and then the next encounter it would keep the same level of HP, so you just had to keep trying to find it. A hard challenge, but all the more rewarding when you finally did it. Gold and Silver did its best to help with catching all these Pokemon by adding new Pokeballs that increase the catch rate in certain circumstances. Like Heavy Balls increase its catch rate when using it on a heavier Pokemon, and Level Balls increase the catch rate if you were using it on a Pokemon that was a lower level to yours. It's not just a throw and hope for the best, certain Pokeballs may give you a better chance at the right situation. Some of these Pokeballs were available by giving apricorns to a guy called Kurt, and depending on the colour would make a different Pokeball. A new and free way of getting new Pokeballs. It meant that if you wanted a specific Pokeball, you would need to go hunting for black apricorns. Is it apricorns or apricorns?
Pikachu.
A new addition to this series, which would become a big feature and a flex for trainers lucky enough to find one of these, is a shiny Pokemon. Shiny Pokemon are Pokemon with a different coloration, nothing too special except for the fact that they are very rare and hard to find. A shiny Pokemon becomes a shiny determined by its IVs, which are generated by the game upon appearing. If the Pokemon's IVs are the right value, then it will be a shiny. In normal speech, it's very unlikely you'll find shinies, but people do spend their lives hunting for shiny Pokemon, even though some of them look exactly the same. Okay, so I think he's slightly more yellow? That's great. No one's gonna believe me. Finally, we have the story, and it was great. A direct sequel from Red and Blue. Team Rocket have resurfaced, and it's your job to take them on. There was also a focus on Lugia and Ho-Oh. Rather than the legendaries being just a side quest, they were spoken of more and added to the story and the plot of the game. This time, once you've defeated the 8 gyms and the Elite Four, you can now go back to the Kanto region, fight all the previous gym leaders, and then take on the final challenge. Defeat the most powerful trainer of all, Red. That's right. The player you previously played as is now available to battle on top of Mount Silver, and oh boy is he tough. A final challenge that encourages you to enhance the new features available to you in this game to take him down. Fighting Red felt so epic, even though really it looked like this. What a great final challenge to the game. This game was a total success. It felt like the same game, but better. More moves, more Pokemon, more challenges. They found what made the game great and improved upon it. More game equals more fun, and I felt like I could do it. I could catch every single Pokemon, except for the roaming legendaries. Man, those guys are annoying. Ugh, I can't be dealing with this guy right now. Can't escape? Okay, he clearly wants to fight. But why? This generation also had its own Pokemon Yellow, the same game with some changes and enhancements. Pokemon Crystal. Most of these changes were visual. Pokemon had animations, and you could choose which gender to be. The main change was the plot, with a focus on Suicune. You can now encounter it throughout the Johto region, and eventually it will appear stationary for you to try and catch it rather than roaming around Johto. Why they focused on Suicune, I really don't know, but it was a nice storyline nonetheless. You also meet a guy, Esuine, a legendary beast expert who has been chasing Suicune for years, but to no avail. It's okay, buddy. I've only been doing this for a couple days, but I can give it a go. Huh. Beginner's luck? There's also a new unknown subplot that tells you more about their backstory.
They kinda look like alphabet soup without the soup.
The only other big change was the Battle Tower, a new area where you could choose 3 Pokemon and then climb up the tower fighting 7 trainers one after the other, while healing in between. Once you defeated all 7, you would receive a prize. This was a nice extra game to play, challenging you in a new way. Another way to further test your battle skills. A great, simple addition. Something else that sadly was only available through special events and in Japan was the legendary Pokemon Celebi. In the special event, you would get your hands on a GS ball, and once Kurt tells you to go to the Ilex Forest, Celebi would appear. The The only way to get the GS Ball though was with the mobile GB adapter where you could connect your phone to the Game Boy. This adapter and mobile service was never implemented outside of Japan, so if you wanted Celebi, gotta hack and cheat your way to a GS Ball. Sorry. And then that's kind of it. Crystal didn't change much from Gold and Silver, and I really tried looking for other things that changed, but the best I got was the ice path has more ice. Like, wow, game changer. Very little change from Gold and Silver. I don't think you could say it was better or worse than it because of how little it changed, it was just slightly enhanced. Now comparing this to Gen 1, there's no doubt that these games were far better, and why shouldn't they be? Everything Red and Blue had, they made it better. But that's not why we're here. We're here to look at the best Pokemon game ever, and we still have a lot to cover. So far, we haven't lost any game features, and have only seen more features added to the game, all of which have been a delight. So it's time to move on to the third generation of Pokemon games. What are these guys going to bring to the table that will help them stand above the last? What new features that we've seen in Gold and Silver are going to return? Will any features not return? Only one way to find out, and that's by staying tuned to this series. If Gen 3 is one of your favourites and you can't wait for the next episode, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you know when the episode goes up. Thanks for watching. If you want to see what else the channel has to offer, and you like the sound of my voice, then check out some of my Let's Plays. Leave a comment and let me know what was your favourite game that we've covered so far. I'll see you all again soon for the next exciting episode. Bye-bye!